What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what really moved it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, NIO did go down 7.21%. 501 the low, 548 the high. So 501 was created when, of course, the 50 basis point came out. And essentially the market started to sell off because they started to speculate on why the 50 basis points was being done and what that might mean for the foreseeable future. So people were kind of jumping to a lot of conclusions. So that's how that low was created. But pretty much NIO started to sell off right out the gate. Even though there was no actual news from NIO itself, no SEC filings, the only thing that really came out that could potentially have caused that sell-off would have been this right here. So NIO in talks to buy Audi's factory in Belgium. So I think that's kind of good. That would obviously avoid the tariffs. So the European tariffs that was recently placed, I think it was like, or at least proposed 1 month ago. I don't know if they actually did put it through, but I know that they were kind of talking about it or proposing it. So in general, that would be absolutely huge. And I think that's what a lot of global EVs are doing. Similar to what happened with Polestar, how they kind of built a facility in the States to kind of bypass a lot of those tariffs because Polestar was having and struggling to get into the States. Same goes for NIO. I think this would be very good. So in my opinion, this would be the only attributing cause that it brought it down, which in my opinion, like that is somewhat unjustified if that was again the cause. There was no big large entities really selling NIO today, so these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000, and then these are all the transactions that did occur on the dark pool. Little bit quieter than the norm, so majority of the volume did come from shorts as well as algorithmic trading. Shorts though, they did something interesting. So yesterday I did a video on NIO and they returned, I think at the time it was like 5.5 million shares or somewhere around that kind of price point or amount. But today, shorts did return 1.61 million shares. So clearly shorts are overextended. Tomorrow is a very big day for NIO. So Thursday is the whole unveiling. And so clearly shorts again are somewhat fearful about what that could potentially mean for NIO. So let me know your thoughts on that. But 13.75% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 183.7 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 90.23. Cost to borrow average is 3.02. Shorts have still been lingering, so I feel like shorts could definitely take another hit lower, get it to around that 11% range. So that would equate to probably another 20 million shares or around 15 million shares being kind of returned. So that would really help a nice little leg up because just looking at the DCC, 4.16 days. So if you kind of subtract 15 mil from that, I feel like that would really help appreciate NIO's stock price. So again, I'm going to go over technicals and everything else that you need to know. But as of right now, going into tomorrow, the fear and greed index is still under the greed category. So in theory, I think you might have a little bit more people and institutions really looking for value plays. So once again, once the market has kind of digested that 50-day or that 50 basis point cut, now they can look for value plays. And I feel like, especially with the big unveil tomorrow, like people are going to be gravitating towards NIO. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that, looking at options, kind of low dollar value in comparison to the norm for NIO. So 3.99 million in calls, 1.34 million in puts. Sentiment wise though, 54% of all the options being done today were bearish. And obviously I think that probably is just piggybacking off of the broader market and the negativity at the time. But of the call options that are purchased, today, there was a consensus for it to be above $6, even more so going into next week. Then looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub 5. So similar to what I mentioned yesterday, the risk versus reward is clearly in favor of more upside. But then again, options activity doesn't necessarily move the stock price. It's just more of a sentiment, so it's good to kind of analyze and stuff like that. But with it closing at 502, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S1 and the pivot. So 497 will be that strong support that you'll want to watch for it to really hold going into the next couple trading days. Flip side, 532 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. And as of right now, especially based on the technicals, I did say that it was kind of flirting with that 200-day moving average for a while. And considering stochastic, it is like overbought right now with it at like 86. The first sign of weakness, you were going to see a pullback. So that 50 basis point cut, even though it's somewhat good, somewhat bad, the market kind of took that as a negative. So that's what is really dragging NIO down. But consolidation is still fairly good. Nothing really wrong with that. It's still healthy for the stock, and as long as it's kind of staying above its previous low. So as long as it stays above that 50-day moving average, I feel like the technicals would still be generally good. So right now, higher percentile of the Bollinger Band and kind of just trading between that 100 and 200-day moving average right now. We'll just watch and see if there is more of a very big recovery tomorrow. A number of retail investors were getting out. So this is a quick summary for NIO. I just wanted to pop on. My apologies for, I guess, the timeliness of this video. So hopefully you guys still enjoy it. It is good to see shorts still continuing to return some shares. So looks like it's still updating because again, through 24 hours trading and whatever, and they can still do some transactions. So 1.51 million net. So yeah, interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that shorts are going to continue to return tomorrow? Or do you think it was more just in anticipation for the big event tomorrow? So what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, if you've been selling. What have you been doing with NIO? One final thing, make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo. It is expiring on September the 30th. It does give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So that is a kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.